Hey you, I'm glad to see you here because this, in my opinion, is the most important video I've made so far. So I'm happy you chose to join me here today. So, some of you may know that last year I started looking into mindfulness, and I learned a lot this last year, but particularly this last month. So many things have started really clicking for me, and I've made so many big strides so that actually I can confidently say that mindfulness has changed my life for the better. 100% without question. And I really feel called to share what I've learned with the people that I love. And so I'm not saying by watching this video your life will be completely changed when you wake up tomorrow. I'm not even saying that you have to start meditating if that doesn't sound like something that you want to do. My hope with this video is that I can share the things that really resonated with me and really pushed me along on my journey, and that you can find at least one thing that resonates with you and pushes you on towards your next step. I have thought a lot about this video, and I take it very, very seriously. And so, hi. My name is Rachel. It's nice to meet you. And I am humbly asking for you to trust me and give this video a chance and listen. Not for my sake, but for your own. Besides, the absolute worst you have to lose is the
28
minutes that this video takes. So, why not give it a try? Before we get into the main part of the video, I did just want to quickly recap 3 common questions that people might have about why mindfulness. And that's the first question. Why should you be mindful? And we'll come back to this again later. But for now, you only have one life. So you may as well be present for it, right? And then you might have some people asking, okay, I'm totally down to be here for the good moments, the positive moments, the highlights. Totally down to be present for those ones. But the sad moments, the boring moments, the tedious moments, the painful moments, why do I need to be present for those ones? And for that, I would first refer you to the movie Click with Adam Sandler. Great classic movie. You should definitely watch it if you haven't. But even apart from that, from my experience, it takes time But by being mindful in these negative situations, your relationship with these negative situations changes eventually in a way where you realize how much more control and power you have in these situations, and it makes them so much more easier to navigate with when you are in them. And then the last question is, okay, I'll try my best to be mindful in my day-to-day life, but meditation just doesn't feel like it's for me for whatever reason that you have. And if you truly feel like meditation isn't for you for whatever reason, that's completely fine. That's completely your choice. I will just say from my own personal experience, I've found it virtually impossible to actually become more mindful in my day-to-day life without grounding that first in a formal practice. Because without the formal practice, you don't actually realize how not present you actually are all the time. A lot of people seem to think that when they first start meditating, if there's a stray thought or they accidentally got caught up in a train of thought somewhere, that they're doing something wrong and something bad, and they've messed up the meditation. But that's the point of the meditation, is to notice how easy your brain is to go off on these tangents, how susceptible it is to any distraction. And by noticing that your brain has a tendency to do this, that's when you can start to change it in your formal practice. And then that expands out to your regular life. But with that being said, I'm going to transition to a more serious maple to share with you guys what I've learned this last year. I hope you enjoy. I know that no one ever even asked if you wanted to play, but you are playing a game right now. This moment, it's your move. Every single moment of every day, it's your move. But this game isn't the kind of game where you can take as long as you want to think of your move. No, if you aren't paying attention for whatever reason, then the game will make a move for you. And this autoplay feature isn't actually good at playing the game. It will just play the most expected move based off of your history and your current position, and it will make that move for you. So you don't pay attention, the move gets made for you. you still aren't paying attention, another move gets made for you, and another, and another, and another, until eventually you bring your attention back to the state of the game. And suddenly you find yourself so far behind. And you say, that's not fair. How could I possibly be this far behind when I haven't even made a move yet? But you have been ignoring the fact that you have had an opportunity to make your move every single step of the way here. And you neglected to make one. But before I tell you how to play this game, I want to make myself incredibly clear that this is not a zero-sum game. No one has to lose in order for you to win. Not a single person has to lose in any single way in order for you to get ahead. And so I believe if you are going to play this game, I ask that you try not just to get ahead yourself, but to try to bring as many people around you to better positions as well. Okay, so how do you play the game? Well, I'm going to be sharing with you what has personally worked for me so far. This is not a final and complete answer. No answer ever is. It can always be challenged, always be improved and tweaked. And also, this answer is not a one-size-fits-all answer, because everyone's going to be at least slightly different. But my hope is that you can use this as a jumping off point to find your next step, to find what works for you. But I have come up with a personal mantra that I try my best to embody as often as I can, which is choose purposeful love. So let's take a closer look at those 3 words. The first word, choose. It seems simple enough. You probably make many decisions every single day already. But I would challenge you with that, to ask you, are you actually making those decisions, or are you allowing the game to make those decisions for you? Let's take a couple examples so it's not as abstract. Let's say you get home from work and you scroll on TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, whatever it is, and you scroll and you scroll and you scroll and you scroll hours go by. Did you choose to spend those hours just scrolling, or did the game choose for you? If you had McDonald's for dinner, not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but did you choose McDonald's, or did the game choose for you? Let's say you are staring at your imperfections in the mirror and you think, I can't stop, and you obsess and you obsess. Did you choose to obsess over your flaws, or did you allow the game to choose that for you? We make so many choices on autopilot every day without realizing it. And in these moments, we can feel so powerless. But you have so much more power than you realize, because the reality is that at any moment you can stop, you can breathe, and you can choose whatever you would like. When we become aware and intentional of our choosing and why, it gives us so much more freedom and power that we didn't even know that we had. And by thinking about why we choose what we choose, that brings us to our next word, purposeful. So I try to bring purpose to as many things as I can, because purpose is not out there waiting to be discovered somewhere. It's something that you have to cultivate yourself. And so, no matter how small the moment, if I'm about to wash dishes, I'll think to myself, I'm washing these dishes so I have a clean space to prepare my food in. If I'm about to exercise, I think to myself, I'm exercising so that I hopefully live a long and healthy life. And this works even towards quote unquote bad things. Let's say I've got a craving for chips as my evening snack. Well, before I go and get the chips, I'll do something kind for myself. It doesn't even have to be big. It can be brushing your teeth, drinking a glass of water, even giving yourself a hug. And then I'll get a bowl of chips, and before I eat them, I'll say, I did something kind for myself, so I deserve this snack. And just through that, you change the whole relationship with that situation from one of guilt and shame to one of self-love and positivity, because you brought the purpose there. And I recommend, no matter how silly it feels, that you start out by saying it out loud. And then over time, you say it to yourself. And over time, the habit just becomes the way that you live your life. And you don't even have to actively think about it. It's just there. Act as if the decisions you make matter, because they do. And that brings us to our last word, love. So, just like purpose, I try to bring love to everything that I do. And I'm not perfect by any means, no one is, but I try. And this doesn't mean to impose your version of love on the other person. I mean to actually be present with that other person. Listen to them. Ask questions. Be genuinely curious. Seek to hear them. Seek to understand. Seek to connect with them. Be present with every interaction, even if the other person isn't. Because the only way that you are going to find people who are worth having around is if you're paying attention. And this love, it expands to the world around you. Be present in the world. Listen. Be curious about the things around you. Ask questions. And it also extends to yourself. Listen to yourself. Be curious about yourself. Ask the hard questions of yourself. And I want to take a moment here for the people who feel like they don't love themselves. Because I know that what I'm asking from you in this video sounds impossible. I know when you're in that black hole, it seems like there is no way out. It's suffocating. It hurts to breathe. But I promise you that there is a light at the end of that tunnel. You just need to take that first step. And then the next. And then the next. And it will be long and hard. But it will get easier and easier and easier. And just like anything else I've suggested in this video, when you start off, you will feel silly. It will feel pointless. It will feel like a chore. But over time it becomes easier until it becomes a habit. And then it becomes easier until it becomes just the way that you're living your life. And so I'm going to return to my original question of why mindfulness. And because I have found so much joy and peace and love this last year because of mindfulness, and I cannot imagine my life any other way now. And I truly believe you can get here too if you make the steps to get here. So, I would love to hear from you. If you have any comments about this video, any things that resonated with you, even things you disagreed about, I would love to hear from you. If it's too personal to leave in a comment, feel free to send me an email. But I hope that you found at least one thing that resonated with you. And if you did, I'm going to very nicely ask you to please like this video. I really believe that this can help people, and I hope that as many people see it as possible. But either way, I hope you found something out of this time. Like I said, this isn't going to be your complete answer. No one can tell you the answer. There's a quote I heard back at the beginning of my mindfulness journey that I love, which is the sound of rain needs no translation. I can't tell you the sound of rain. No one else can tell you the sound of rain. All you have to do is stop, breathe, and listen.